5. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. Where did Croncy go? He's gone. He's back. He's actually here. He wasn't hiding. Just kidding. This is the podcast, Star Citizen Podcast, where we talk about the goings-on of the week or a specific topic, and then we open up our Discord and have you guys call in. So if you're interested, !Discord. If you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, it should be linked in the description if you want to join in and talk about the discussion topic. The discussion topics are 4.7, crafting, Rockbreaker, some of your experiences with it now that you're actually on live, how you're feeling it, and there's a pretty epic crafting post that we're probably going to dive really deep into today about the future of crafting, not the current. So that should be pretty fun. So that's what we're going to talk about. But as always...
Not to mention as well, Mike, just quickly, we also got to talk about the Aurora Mark II today.
Who cares? Who cares? It's not an Aurora. You mean the Scorpius Mini. So
Scopora.
Yeah, the Scopora. We'll talk about that for sure. But as always, we start out with like what's been going on since last week. So you lost a bet. I created a character.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I created a character, it was like pretty extreme. This one, not so much.
It's so messed up.
It's still pretty goofy looking. I just tried to go with, since Croncy is now a dad, I went with a space dad as best I could. This was my artistic vision of a space dad. No eyebrows. I don't know why. Salt and pepper hair and a crazy mustache where you can't see their mouth. But then their head is also really big up here and really big down here and really skinny in the middle.
Yeah. The vibes I got from this was less space dad and more like creepy space uncle.
Yeah.
Who you're not 100% sure, but might be an alien.
Like, do you want to join my spaceship? I have 900 Karenite over here, kids. Like, that's what I was going for. Free Karenite. So that's what I was going for with your character for your lost bet. So Croncy has to use this character for a month. But yeah, outside of that, what's going on with you? Outside of Star Citizen, I guess.
Not a ton. Got an email before stream started. I'm going to be I'm getting a creator badge for the Riftbound region of Sydney. Very cool.
Hell yeah.
Because I've been trying to branch out into TCG stuff a lot more. So that's fun. And then, yeah, I mean, that was kind of my week. Like, boring regular week until the PTU came out. Until the live came out, sorry.
Hold on. I have to grab something to show what my week was like. Okay.
He's gonna grab a dead alligator that he killed himself.
Grab a dead camera.
Oh, you fixed it?
Well, this is the replacement. So my camera died a few days ago. I thought I'm on the old camera right now. It looks great. I'm happy with it. One of the things that I feel is like really important about, I don't know, creating content is like having a decent looking camera. I guess for YouTube ads and stuff, having to be able to do this is really nice. So that's good, like the really fast zoom and everything. So my camera died. It wouldn't turn on. I didn't know what was going on. The lens was stuck open. It's supposed to be closed when it's off. And it was just, I thought it was completely broken. So I'm freaking out. We're not exactly in the best financial position right now here at home. I don't really talk about that kind of stuff on stream, but it just is what it is. It'll get better. We just have to deal with it. And then, so it was like a really big question of what to do. Do I use my phone? I did that for a stream, but then it doesn't look that good. I can't do certain things that I need. And then I found this that was that was used, and it was significantly cheaper than my camera, and it was almost the price of like fancy webcams. So I was like, let me do this. It's a dumbed down version of the camera I have, but there's a battery in it. This camera doesn't have a battery. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. This camera doesn't have a battery. It has a dummy battery that you put in it. This camera had a battery. We went to the place, turned it on. It works. Everything works great. I bring it here. Looks great. All right, awesome. Let me put the dummy battery, and that can get it into the final setup. It will be powered on all the time. I forgot to turn sounds off. They're playing sounds that say, who the hell cares? So when I put the dummy battery in this one, it didn't turn on. So I was like, okay, it's not the camera, it's the battery. Hell yeah. awesome. So I replaced the battery into the new camera, into the old camera, the one that I'm using now. It works. So all I had to do, this was $330. I'm returning it today.
Yeah.
All I had to do was spend $17. This is $1,000 camera now. It was not when I bought it. So that's like insane to replace. And it was an $18 fix. So thank goodness.
That's good.
It's first world problems, but it's what happened to me outside of the game this week. But yeah, outside of that, all I have been doing is mining and getting blueprints. How many blueprints do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Oh, I don't know the amount that we have, but the first thing we did was a big blueprint,
group?
like group mission.
What's your favorite? You got any good guns?
I have not crafted anything yet.
Neither have I.
I'm collecting and getting ready.
What's the rush?
Thing? Exactly, but it's also like one thing I've discovered with myself, which I was curious if this would happen live, and it has, is like now that like almost all materials are like valuable for crafting, with a couple of exceptions. Like ice you don't use for any silicon, a couple of. And so even if I'm like, well, I want to craft a scalpel, so I need these minerals, my brain's still like, oh, but I'm passing by this aluminum. Maybe I'll cheeky scan, see if there's a good quality. I'll want something that
eventually,
right?
And,
so now
and the
I'm
other
just
thing
scanning
is,
like every rock.
Yeah. And the other thing is inside that aluminum typically is others, like it could have gold, it could like other things you actually want. And the possibility of those being like close to 800 is up there. So it's an interesting situation. You're exactly right. I described it on my stream as akin to Escape from Tarkov, when they brought in the hideouts. There was a time where like you would open up toolboxes and these other things, and they often just had completely worthless stuff. There might have been a couple of like barter trades, and that's it. So nothing crazy there. Then they brought the hideout, and all of that stuff was used to craft in your hideout, or craft your hideout and make it better. So it made like everything valuable all of a sudden. And it was like now a decision that you have to make of like, how much inventory do I have? Can I hold this stuff? All right, this guy dropped this gun. Now I got to drop all this other, and it actually got kind of cool from that standpoint. I love the idea of everything having, some things have better value than others, but everything had value. It definitely feels like that now. I have stopped and checked every single node that I came across.
Yeah. Which it's a little annoying. It's one of those things where it's like
horrible.
Okay, now that this system's in live, a new problem that I hadn't thought of has presented itself.
Exactly.
Right?
We were praising this thing as possibly the best patch ever. I still think it is, but it has definitely changed. Yeah. And I think I know the reason why, and I'm curious what you think. With still having tier 0 item recovery, you don't feel the need to craft a 600 quality gun. Also, there's no buff to NPCs where their armor is really strong now. Nobody is like really tough where you need to build up like, because they talked about crafting being our progression, right? Now, first patch of this stuff, not expecting it to all come in beautiful, perfect, and everything working together and all the pieces in the right places, right? So this is just pure feedback at the moment, not negative. With item recovery tier 0, I feel like I need, the only thing that matters is getting 950 plus stuff. Yeah. Because when I get it, I'm never going to lose it. But then, like, I've played games like Albion Online, EVE Online, things like that, and you don't need the best stuff. You typically don't use the best stuff because it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, you don't want to risk it.
Yeah, so this 600 stuff that gives you a bonus would be worth the risk, and you would be, instead of scanning everything, you would be mining everything. Right now, all I'm doing is scanning, and scanning is still the worst experience in the mining loop by a mile. Yeah. So I've had a really rough time. We did Hathor today before the stream, just because we were like completely burned out. So what do you think? What you may
Yeah,
not
no,
have
I
had
think
as much time in, but like you feeling the
yeah,
same?
no, I still very much feel the same because it's like, so my range is a little bit lower, but that's because we're a smaller group of people, right?
Yep.
So it's we don't want to spend months waiting to finally get some good like 900 plus nodes or
Yeah.
whatever.
Don't
But
worry.
even I've
Our
been like,
range has gone down significantly as
yeah,
well.
well that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right? So my range is 700 or more, and I'm not bothering
Hmm.
with anything else, right?
That's us too.
Because I know that it's going to become like it's going to be abundant enough. You don't need a lot to craft a lot of stuff either, so it's like you're probably going to be fine with a couple of nodes or whatever.
Yep.
And so really, yeah, it's just become all scanning, and then the fact that it is confounded by the fact that like what we just said, we're going to be scanning every node anyway because we know that there's like it'll build other things. So like if you are trying to go for one specific build, you'll still probably end up scanning everything else, especially because gold, iron, and one other mineral
Hephaestonite.
are very common in it might be yeah, I think it's Hephaestonite. Really common in modifying damage
Mm.
for weapons, which is, as you can imagine, by far the most important thing to
Yep.
alter. That plus like fire rate, but damage is obviously really important. And so if you can find iron or gold in any of these other ones, then that's huge.
Yeah. Gotta say,
So
also,
yeah.
the gem mining has been quite enjoyable. I have found plenty of 900 gems. Plenty.
Interesting.
None on the mineral side. So, like, the
Yeah.
ones that modify your volt weapons and things like that, as far as damage goes, we're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
We're killing it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my camera's busted over here. I even checked before the stream, but no worries, I'll fix it. The, so yeah, like, I've done pretty well on that front, but just yeah, the ore has been absolutely awful. The other experience
Yeah.
around ore, and we'll get into this when we talk about the crafting thing, is when you refine, nothing like stacks, you can't combine, blah blah blah. Blah. So
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of random stuff in your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very messy inventory from that
Yep.
standpoint. But outside of that, I've been motivated. I've been having fun. Like I said, our org has not stopped playing. I'm a little worried about burnout for them, but
Mm-hmm.
people seem engaged with this. It feels better to like feel like you're doing something with purpose. You made the best point of like more things have value now when mining, so
Yeah.
you're checking everything. It's overall been pretty good. Did you do rock break? I mean, we don't really even need to
Yeah, I
talk
did
about
it.
that, I don't think.
Did it today for live.
Yeah, I did it
Because in the
once.
PTU it kept like bugging out, and so we were never able to do a full 100% run. So I did it today. It felt fine. It worked.
Yeah.
There wasn't really much more to say about it. It's one of those things where it's like the first time you do it is really really cool, and then
Yeah.
after that you're doing it for the grind, right? So
Exactly.
it was mostly fine. I will say like it does feel rough to do a full 100% run and then not see anything above like 730.
It's disgusting.
It's like
It feels awful.
this kind of sucks, yeah. So
But again, if there was no tier 0, would it feel that bad?
yeah, probably not.
Probably
Right? Like
not.
if you're like I would be pretty excited for any 700 plus because that's almost 50% of the way to like full upgrade.
You're either using it
and I'll risk
or you're
that all the
selling it.
time. Yeah.
You're either using it or you're selling it. If they, and here's how I'm looking at this, and I was arguing a little bit with my org mates about this because they were like, they should guarantee, in Hathor, they should guarantee a 900. They should guarantee a 900 at this thing. It should always be that, like, and they were always kind of leaning towards reward me for my effort. Totally understand. But it really feels like they're building out what we have now on the like the most unsatisfying end of the low end, so they can tweak the levers that they have up slowly. So if they gave everything to us in this patch and then took it away, how would you feel versus having nothing and then being given over the next 6 months? So it sucks now, but I think that it might get a little better over time.
I think it's another one of those things I mentioned that like I really would have preferred the way that they did quality being like exponentially less, right? Where let's say iron increases damage by 20% at maximum, right? Where it would be at 600 quality, you're getting 10%. At 700 quality, you're getting 15%. At 800 quality, you're getting 17.5%. And so it's like it still gradually scales up.
Yeah.
But like really, really slowly. That would make these sort of ones a lot more enjoyable because it's like, oh, well, I'm already halfway there. If I get a 700, cool, right? I'm more okay with getting that, and will still be very excited if I get those 900 pluses because it's like you're getting like the peak amount that.
Yeah, 100%. So that's just like very simply, that's been my experiences. I have not even tried the Aurora Mark II. Tell me about it.
I looked at it. I haven't flown it, but I did look at it. It's cool.
It's really hard for me to care about a ship right now. I've talked about this for the last couple weeks. I've been waiting for 14 years for this patch. What's a starter ship to me at the moment?
Which also I was saying before the pod, I loved that for the well, I don't love it. It's the opposite of love. The trailer for the patch. Like, look, Rockbreaker is very cool, and they did a really good job with it. But the patch is entirely just Rockbreaker, and they don't show any crafting.
The patch video.
That feels crazy. That feels wild.
I heard you saying that while I was away. I'm going to fight you on that one. I love that they did that, and I think that that was finally the right choice. Because look at what we did just now. Most of our conversation around crafting was not positive. It was a lot of this needs to change kind of feedback because the crafting isn't actually here yet. They're not ready to yell at the sky and say, guys, crafting is here. And they're actually holding back. It's like, finally.
It's so much more impactful, though. It's like,
100%.
The game has fundamentally changed in a huge way.
But it
feels not really weird to not be like, hey,
agreed.
You can craft.
Agreed, but it's not ready for everyone yet. It's not ready yet. So when something isn't ready and they would always say playable now, it's not exactly in a playable now state, I would argue. Right? Yeah, it's like they did. I see it in Twitch chat. Current crafting feels like current engineering, where it's like in this middle stage where it doesn't have everything it needs yet. And they pumped engineering and we're talking about it like crazy. And then everyone goes to play it and it's not there. It's like, I like that they didn't do that personally, because then when it's like there, then they can hype it up and there's a reason to jump in and play it. So like for once,
I just feel
I defend the marketing team. I don't do this often, so mark this moment because I do not do this.
Look, I agree that the video looks cooler and it's like flashier and stuff, but at the end of the day, like most of these videos, I presume designed for people to come back into the game. It's not really going to bring new people in. These rock breakers, I imagine, these kind of patch videos. And one thing that you probably want to mention to people is, oh, hey, that mechanic you were waiting 14 years for.
Yeah.
You can do some stuff with it.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Anyway, that was a small tangent. So the Aurora. It's cool. I really like what they've done with it. It looks dope.
It is beautiful.
It's got some cool paints. Love what they did with the wings. Love the modularity. Huge fan of that.
Big fan of the modularity.
And being able to actually tractor beam the modularity onto it is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is at the end of the day a starter ship, and it's one of the cooler ones now, I think. Yeah.
Agreed.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Just doesn't feel like an Aurora.
I will agree with that. It's not. It is
not
an Aurora. It is a mini Scorpius.
Yeah.
Like it is fundamentally an Aurora in that, like, if you look at it without its wings out, if you squint hard enough,
like, look, sort of looks look like at an Aurora this where they're right next to each other.
Yeah, they're actually next to the Scorpius. It looks exactly like it.
It's just a Scorpius. Like if you look quick, it's a Scorpius.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just weird to me. And I fell in love with the Aurora because of the way it looked.
Yeah.
I liked it because it looked more like old Chris Roberts ships and things like that. Like it brought me back to Wing Commanders and those kind of games. So
no, I
it's
agree.
like
it also, like, because it follows more recent RSI design language, like the Aurora was made yonks ago.
Yeah.
And because it follows the more recent RSI language, it's definitely more in that. It suits the current RSI lineup more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that means it does look like a different ship. It looks less like a Mark II and more like a. If you were to have. It's the middle evolution Pokemon. It's the Aurora Mark II, and the Scorpius, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or like if they name this something like Scorpius XS or something, or I don't know. You wouldn't have batted an eye about it. So I think it's super cool looking ship. I think the ship team did fantastic job with it. It just doesn't feel like an Aurora. And they go on the BTS and are like, this is the the Aurora, and like these elements are the Aurora, and it's like, I don't think so, buddy. You're not going to sell me on that. As somebody who like actually likes it, it felt like disappointing to see just visually. But outside of that, everything else is pretty positive to me from looks and all that. Functionality wise, again, it's a starter ship, so how many people are even going to use this? It doesn't really matter. So that's why I didn't look at it or anything. I was flying mining ships all week. Don't talk to me about a Scorpius right now or whatever.
The last thing I'll mention is I do love that they did the thing to the wings that like the community has been like theory crafting about cool things to do with the Aurora for years.
That's awesome as well.
They're just like, yeah, right, let's just do it.
Yeah. Like I like that they did that, and it's an homage to that guy who made that image a while back and everything else, right? So like again, it's I have nothing bad to say about the Aurora. It just isn't an Aurora. Okay, one other thing on it is in the Q&A, there was the Aurora SE thing where they combined all the other Auroras into one Giga Aurora. Basically the same amount of cargo for the CL, the LNs, combat capabilities, luxury one, looks luxury. This was a big, I think, a little bit of drama on my stream talking about this for sure. Curious what you think about. They're just going to delete the buyback from this after September 30th of this year. It feels wrong to do that, but it also makes perfect sense. Like after the game goes live, there shouldn't be buybacks and CCUs. That's kind of weird.
Especially doesn't really make sense for ships that they're not going to sell anymore.
Yeah. So then, it's like you could always buy the ship technically, even though it's not for sale. It ends up being kind of weird. I'm sure there's reasons for like CCUers to be mad about this, but honestly, I don't really care about those people that much. I think that they're
and even then you've still got till September 30th, right? Like if you are concerned, you can kind of skirt around it, and you've got 6 months to do it. So
yeah, like to deal with your buybacks now, I guess. I'm not a big
Invictus coming up if you want to mess around with it. Like it should be.
Yeah, I'm not a big buybacker. I know this is like how you get ships cheaper, like good for you, whatever. But at the same time, it's weird. It's a weird thing to 1.0 is not in the next year. 1.0 is not in the next 2 years. So what is the point of doing this now? Nah, I don't think there's really a reason to. But getting people used to this is probably not a bad thing with 1.0 eventually coming. Like once 1.0 comes, they're obviously going to still sell ships. But it gets really weird with the melting a ship and buying this one back.
Yeah, like, you've got to imagine that whole system just won't exist, right? Like at some
they're
point,
still going to sell ships. They're still going to sell ships.
They'll still sell ships. I've got to imagine at some point they're just going to completely sunset buyback.
Yeah, it makes no sense to have it because you're supposed to play the game. So, yeah, quickly just wanted to touch on that. And, that can be a topic that I know like Sharkbite will definitely talk about because I know he's a CCUer, so we can get some insight there. Quick sneak peek, do we care?
Just quickly, there'll always be cheap ships. So, like, yeah, if you're concerned with buybacks, you got 6 months if you're concerned with CCU, you got 6 months to try to find ways to make use of it. I think that's pretty reasonable, especially with Invictus coming up. And then,
my thing is like, what happens with the Banu Merchantman that I have in buyback now that you didn't deliver? am I never going to be able to use that ship because you didn't deliver it before 1.0 and you're just going to sunset it? So like they're setting like a weird precedent that is kind of goofy and I don't like. But outside of that,
just buy it.
I don't care. When? What do I melt? I can't, right? I most likely won't be able to. So it's a goofy situation. I mean, maybe I'll leave enough money in there to be able to get it, or will I even be able to? Like, there's all sorts of weirdness. Very quickly, I don't know why this is a sneak peek, but the UTV is a sneak peek. They showed it on ISC last week. We saw more of it on ISC last week. So unless they're implying that there's going to be missions at distro centers here, this is not a sneak peek, but we'll see.
Give me a reason to use ground vehicles.
Did they not point out possibly missions at distro center, those type of missions coming back?
I think there was
on SCL.
There was I don't know if it was SCL. It might have been SCL. It was either SCL.
It was SCL with Elliot, I think. I believe it was. Okay. Roadmap roundup.
There was a roadmap this? Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. 4.8 roundup. Open it up, buddy.
Oh, no, there was. I never read it. Oh, no, I did know. I never read it. Oh, God, I'm so terribly unprepared this week.
You're a proper space dad. You're proper space dad this week.
Need all that tungsten. All right.
They did the 4.7 stuff at the beginning. Who cares? 4.8 cards are now on the roadmap. Refueling missions, we knew already. Yep. I'll always get on my soapbox. We should be finding fuel in the verse, selling it to stations like Everest Harbor, and if you don't sell it to stations like Everest Harbor, the price goes up a ton, or they run out and you can't refuel there, and then it bothers everybody. So then they call for you to go do it, and you get paid lots of money, and you actually did something with a purpose. There you go. Then they also said like refueling improvements. We've talked about this too. They're only doing that because they want to sell a spaceship. Love you,
but also
marketing
if
team.
you're going to do refueling
You're
missions,
the best.
You probably need it to work.
Yeah, but the only reason they're doing refueling missions is because they want to sell a spaceship. Yeah. They would never prioritize this if the marketing team didn't decide, hey guys, we need to sell more spaceships. Here, what haven't we done in a while? Oh, that's right, refueling. Get to work. So that's yucky, icky, yucky, gross. Makes me sick. Flight suits. Love this. First iteration of armor rework stuff. Huge. Yep. It is just flight suits to start. They're doing everything in baby steps now with Star Citizen, and I'm for it. It's totally fine. I am hopefully looking forward to future patches where it's more of your combat armors and things like that. Very cool. Yep. Something I wouldn't have expected to see in 4.8. The ship hangar refueling, rearming thing in preparation for... Do you remember the name of the mission event thing that they showed at CitizenCon? Strike Group? Strike something?
Groups, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. So getting this in potentially before strike groups, potentially strike groups in this patch, maybe?
Yeah, I once again, I don't remember if it was an ISC or an SCL or whatever, but like the implication was that we will be getting strike groups in May.
Yep. So,
or at least aiming.
Oh, yeah, we saw it in a roadmap, like the timing was going to end or whatever at that time. So, yeah, cool. Vehicle command module. So you're docking, undocking with your potentially Caterpillar and Ironclad. Probably for sure the Ironclad. A Wicklow L22.
We assume the Ironclad's going to come out with Invictus, right? Because that's the other thing. This is the Invictus patch.
Yes, this is also, the Invictus patch. So we expect to see that then, which is awesome. I can't wait for that ship. Very excited. Wicklow L22 Alpha Wolf is there. And then FPS stuff. Some cool shit here, man. Crossbow.
Yeah, so crossbow was mentioned by
Zach
on SCL the other week. Plasma grenade.
That was the area denial grenade that he talked about. So I'm very curious how that all plays out. Thinking about like
I wonder if it'll be like the first, because we don't have like a Molotov style grenade in this, right? So I wonder if that's what this plasma grenade will be, is just like,
I think so.
If you run through this, you take damage.
Yeah, and you can like maybe throw it at doors that are opening at like CZs, stuff like that. We'll see. Sort of oddly, transport system here. We know that they were getting ready to test it, but they never did. So now that we have 4.7 live, like maybe next week there'll be legitimately like an Evo tech preview for transport system, and in preparation for this thing to come out. So not much to say on that. Just need to try it, and hopefully everything works great. And then Ager's Hammerhead Gold Standard, which is another ship sale thing, because Jared has been hinting for weeks about a like Idris laser version of a Hammerhead. So that's kind of possibly coming. He's said like comments like he's made like comments on Reddit about like shark. He made it on SCL or ISC sharks with lasers. People have made images on Reddit, and he's popping in there and playing coy and just being kind of dorky about it. So I imagine there's going to be a ship sale that is like that.
If we get the turrets of the Hammerhead to have like the Idris laser, obviously not the size 10, but like that tech, I am so for that.
It'll look really cool. It's gonna be like a disco laser light show. It's gonna look so. Actually, it's gonna look so stupid.
It's gonna be great. You get like 5 Hammerheads out there doing it. Let's go.
Like I feel like if it's like a Squadron 42 ship, it would look epic. But I feel like in Star Citizen, it's just gonna look goofy and weird. But yeah, we'll see. And then just added Maelstrom onto the 1.0 cards, which is, I'm surprised it wasn't there already. And that was the roadmap. So those are there's a lot of 4.8 cards. That they have put on, to be fair. Yeah, of course. I just thought it was there already, is why I said that. But yeah, I expect like no event or anything like that listed in 4.8 cards yet. I expect to see more stuff around that and related to that, and we'll see.
I would imagine if they do end up doing strike groups, it's probably not going to be 4.8. It'll be that the mid thingy patch, because I just feel like they wouldn't do Invictus and strike groups at the same time. It's just probably going to cause too many problems.
Or maybe it's their 2-week windows.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like if we see it, it'll be like a mid patch.
Got it. I might have missed that part because I'm getting ready for our next topic. So we're probably going to spend about half an hour on this, is my guess. All right. So lock in, everybody. Everybody pay attention, because this is probably what most of the calls are going to be about. If you scroll down on the crafting guide to where it says today and tomorrow, that's where we're going to be at. The future of crafting. And they have like these expandable things. So a lot of this stuff we're kind of aware of, but they give like little more details and things like that we may not be aware of. So general expansion, obviously they want to go to vehicle components and weapons. I don't think there's much to say on that. They want to do base building for crafting entire vehicles. We know that already. More stats to increase variety. Okay.
Sweet.
Duh. Yep. Catalysts, which are optional items which unlock additional benefits when included in crafting jobs. So you don't need them to craft, but they're a part of the craft. We may already have one of these. If you have a Zenith rifle blueprint, I'm going to make some guesses here, because you can really up the damage of a Zenith. But the Satyrix or whatever that is at Rockbreaker is part of that craft. That is a 0 quality item at the moment. You can't make it go up. So it actually provides negative damage reduction to it. So it's like a weird one right now to craft. Maybe that's like meant to be a catalyst. I'm not sure. And add additional damage. I don't know. So that's a weird one. It's kind of vague. We'll have to see what they mean by that. But yeah.
I mean, catalysts are just it's World of Warcraft gems.
I don't know anything about World of Warcraft, so talk to me.
Well, it's basically it's an additional thing. So like your highest gear or whatever, you can craft it, you can give it stats, you can enchant it to give it whatever else stats, and then in addition, there's gem slots, and you chuck the gems in, they give you additional stats.
Got it. So it's just more grind to add to the grind, so you don't stop playing.
Yes, but also variety, right? It's more options, because it's like your gems will modify stats that some other things don't. Right.
So, like, for example, an armor side of things, you can, add radiation protection to a suit that doesn't have any. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's added flexibility, which is great. The question is, what are the catalysts going to be? Just going to be gems? Are they going to be weird fancy things? Are we going to be chucking
New
UE
stuff.
medals like inside a
Yeah.
inside a gun or something?
Who knows?
I'm curious to see how they go like lore wise with that. But they had already talked about Catalyst. That was in the big crafting.
They have. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next stuff, I would say is pretty obvious, but also somewhat controversial for me. NPC shops pay more for higher quality materials. Crafted gear may be looted from selected NPCs or found in crates. Dismantling this loot will result in the appropriate quality values on the materials. Don't exactly love all this.
Really? I'm into that.
It makes sense, but it also is anti-MMO. Very different from the way MMOs do lots of things.
I don't know if it is, right? Because this is your like
I'll explain
it's your
when you're done.
loot drop, right? This is your like right now in 4.7 you have basically no reason to loot anyone except for like ammo, right? Or if you're looking for loot boxes for like your UE medals and stuff. Adding in crafted gear is obviously a pretty big deal there. But then in addition, being able to go, oh hey, here's like an 800 quality P4. Well, I don't really care about the P4, but being able to then get your 800 quality iron from that's sick, right? That's dope.
Agreed.
So
Hear me out.
I'm a huge fan.
Hear me out. I'm a huge fan of that too, except now the crafter is taken out of the equation because you could potentially just get, like, I'm thinking of like what we have now. We only change a couple of stats, right?
Yep.
And it obviously says they want to add some more stats to it. How typical MMOs do their loot drops is typical older MMOs, how they do their loot drops is you have your crafter who crafts, and they can craft some things that you can't get in a drop. And then you have your drops that you can't get from a crafter, and you kind of combine those things to make best in slot or better things. I see somebody saying, older MMOs. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but new MMOs die within a year, and there's a reason for it. Yeah. Okay? So just keep that part in mind. Older MMOs are still alive, and that's why they're good, because they're older, and they've done things better. So that's important. I think to note here is an example I gave, I already recorded, we can review like always, was Ninetales bunkers. You have a chance to get a interesting, unique drop from those guys, and then it can be in that quality range, but they have a stat that you wouldn't normally have on a Karna rifle, for example, right? So it gives you more variety, and then you have a reason to buy things from a crafter, but you also have the reason to buy things from a guy who just likes to run missions. And then everybody has their niche in the game, and everybody kind of works together and sells to each other, works like this then doesn't take away from the crafter and doesn't take away from the guy who likes to run missions, right?
Yeah, I'll say like if it's unique items, I'm more into it. But because we don't lose anything. If we did lose stuff, I think this is completely fine. Because it's just more it doesn't actually take anyone out of the equation because all of those things would still be relevant.
But it's easier probably to run missions than to interact with other players, typically. So
depends on the rarity.
Yeah.
Right. That's the other thing. Like, is this going to be?
I want unique,
crazy or whatever.
Yeah.
And also, like, how high will the quality go? Like, are we ever going to find 900 quality plus crafted gear on NPCs? If no, cool. Right. Then that sort of negates that problem. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and then obviously other things are player trading will support transactions of quality and crafted items. Yeah, talk all you want, do the work, and then talk to me about this kind of stuff. Base building will have the operated stores. We know all this stuff, but yeah, that's all yapping until they do something. Blueprint acquisition. This is all stuff we already know as well. They can be granted from physical data pads, so not everyone will, but some will. Data pads will have a one-time use, but I think that just means one time to
you got to learn the blueprint.
To learn the blueprint, yep.
Yeah.
Data pads can be sold or gifted to other players. They can be granted via rep rewards or purchased from NPC stores. No complaints there, as long as the NPC stores don't typically have the best stuff. Playing the game is usually better. Blueprint tiers. Go ahead.
Yeah. the way that I also see like the data pads one being used is like what I would like this to be, because if it's just like a P4 blueprint, who cares? But if it's like, you can already see right now, like you can only make as many things as you have fabricators. Fabricators are very small and very easy to make. So scale it up. You can only make as many ships as you have bases that have the module that can build the ship, or pioneers, right?
Yeah.
Scale it up even further. You can only build as many Bengals as you have those giant giant arrays of bases.
And like the craft takes hours or days or whatever.
Exactly. Which means multiple of those data pads will actually be worth like money to large groups, so that they can create more of those time. And so like when Billy goes and does his whatever mission, gets a random super rare drop for a blueprint for a Bengal, obviously going like straight to crazy end, it makes it actually super worth to sell it. So I'm hoping that's how it works.
Yeah, for sure. I see chat arguing a little bit, so in Twitch chat. So I know if you're watching on YouTube later, I apologize. Stop arguing, guys. It's gonna be okay. There are obviously like things like non-crafted drops in the CZs right now. I think that's kind of what they're arguing about. Love that shit.
Right.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you mix it with your crafted guns, and your crafted guns get more awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to get like a tweaker component and then put it on a crafted P4 or whatever.
Hell yeah. That's what I was doing. In 4.6, I was farming those attachments so I can use them on my crafted guns. Love it. Mm-hmm. Blueprint tiers, we already know this. 1 to 3. Vehicles will go up to 5. Higher, I got to go slow because there's something important here, I think. Higher tier items have access to increased stat ranges. Duh. Higher tier blueprints will have more complex requirements. Duh. Increasing a blueprint's tier requires the player to complete research tasks. We already saw that on that slide. Make 100 pistols. Remember that?
Yeah.
Items can be upgraded from one tier to the next using a specialist upgrading blueprint. Bro, I think that's getting a little in the weeds. I think that's kind of, I don't know, maybe... We got to talk about Eve. They do like invention to get a tier 2 blueprint. Maybe that's sort of what they're going for here, except you need to find it. I don't know. We'll see. That I don't know. I'm going to like reserve judgment on that, but it just sounds weird, vague, goofy.
It does. The reason it sounds weird to me though is like, if you can have the blueprints at the higher tiers, what is the advantage of upgrading versus crafting? That's what I want to see.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Okay.
That's the most important thing here. These upgraded items will have access to increased stat ranges. Duh. The next one is what answers your question. It should be more efficient to craft a higher tier item from scratch than it is to upgrade an item from tier 1 up to its maximum. That sounds illogical and stupid, right? Because you already have the tier 1 item. That makes no sense, but it does.
But yeah, if your tier 1 item that you've already crafted is at the higher range, then I imagine upgrading it would keep it at the new higher range. So like you can guarantee the stats a little bit higher.
Get Eve brained for a second. A second. This takes the guy who is buying on the pledge store and makes the guy who is playing the game and building, if there is an actual player market, the ability to sell that ship in-game for cheaper than the person who is upgrading from the pledge store. And that person can't sell that ship anyway. So this gives the value, higher value, cheaper in-game value to the crafter than it does the pledger. The pledger gets the convenience of getting the tier 1, and it gets more interesting. So hold some judgment on some of the stuff, because they do touch on things here. This allows the crafter to be to potentially be the supplier of big orgs in the game and blah 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 blah. Okay. Next, it gets much better than this, Croncy. We're not even close to like in the weeds yet. Interface, dedicated blueprint library app for your mobiGlass. Sweet.
Yep. Thank God.
New folder style management for materials of the same type, which are different quality. Amazing. We love that. Ability to split and merge resource containers with the inventory where the quality averages out. Do that tomorrow. That one, like, gotta have it soon. That is like a,
I mean, everything in this, so far, this seems like the most likely to happen sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Right? A lot of this other stuff is seems pretty far away.
Yes. Now we get into it. Here's the good stuff. We're getting to the good stuff now. Mm-hmm. If you didn't, the other stuff was good. This is the great stuff. Like this is the like it's starting to get kind of crazy.
Before we read it, I'm very much getting the vibe from you that they're doing exactly what I wanted to do.
No, not exactly, but it's getting better. I think. I can't remember exactly what you want. Not all of this is good. It is. Okay. It is still pledge store adjacent. It always will be.
Okay.
Like, of course, you can't lose shit if you bought it. Yeah, like they were never going to do that. Without items, but this first sentence is a great thing to hear because it's like, oh, you heard us. Without items degrading and needing to be replaced, the crafting economy is much less appealing to crafters. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Thank you for hearing us. Due to crafting your item once and never needing a new one, items will degrade with usage. Degradation impacts the functionality of the item. Okay. Items can be repaired to restore some functionality. Every repair reduces maximum functionality. Yep. Great, right? Low functionality will mean more malfunctions. So it'll just be bad. Items will get damaged. Items can be repaired to restore its integrity. There's some goofiness between functionality and integrity. That sounds a little convoluted and crazy. I would say simplify that, CIG, and just keep it simple. That's probably your best choice there. Item recovery and claiming will not reset functionality on items.
Huge.
Pledge items.
That's enormous.
Yep. Pledge items are still subject to degradation, repair, and maintenance, but will never permanently become unusable. So there's your pay to win. Ish. Not pay to win, but sort of, you gain an advantage from paying. Or you deal with less friction by paying. Paths to restore complete functionality will be available. Vague as fuck.
Yeah.
Bad, that's vague. Don't like it. Okay. What do you think so far before we go on to anything else?
Love that third last line about item recovery and claiming not resetting functionality. Fantastic. Yeah.
That makes it so if losing your ship, you care. Because no matter you don't just claim it.
I'm going to get it back, but now it's going to be it's going to have like 80% the power usage or whatever. Like
the missiles you use are going to be gone. Everything needs to be fixed and so on. You got to deal with the friction that you had to deal with in the fight that you lost, whatever, right?
And then combining this information with what you were saying, like the upgrading is going to be less efficient than crafting new.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Hold that thought. That's the next
the next slide is literally called pledge gear and crafting.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. What else? Okay. Anything else you want to touch on before we move on?
Not really. Like this is they kind of mentioned a lot of the stuff with degradation before.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pledge gear and crafting. Any item obtained via the pledge store will be tier 1.
Yep. Good.
This is not leaving any open doors to sell tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 ships. This leaves all those doors closed. It is very clear. CIG, if you open those doors, that's a bad thing to do. Please don't do that. Yeah. Love this so far. Pledge items will never degrade to 0. Again, they kind of said that earlier. If the pledge item has a unique livery, the owner receives a cosmetic paint item. They've already kind of told us that. The cosmetic paint item allows you to apply that livery to the same item. You do not receive the blueprint to craft. I'm glad they put this. A lot of people were like, just give us the blueprint. When we lose it, we'll recraft it. They don't want to do that. And you know what?
Yeah. Which
That's
makes
a good
sense
idea.
Because like if
not everybody wants to craft.
If you have every ship in the game and they just give you the blueprint for every ship in the game.
Yeah.
Also, oh God, I'm just gonna go to this guy. You can craft everything right off the bat. Right?
Yeah. Also, like, not everybody wants to deal with crafting, so
yeah,
that opens the door to, like, if you want another version of that ship, you buy it from a crafter. The crafter's still relevant, so on and so forth. You do not receive a blueprint to craft the original itself. This must still be earned in game. Awesome. Pledge items cannot be traded or dismantled. That's a big one. Yeah, like I would do that too, but then I think about all the stupid shit that I have on my account that I got from referral rewards and this other stuff that I didn't. What do I do with that trash, right? I don't know what to do with that.
The request is like, CIG, let us turn it into like store credit, even if it's just for paints or something. Just let us find some way to clear that shit up.
I don't even care if I get nothing in return. I just want to get rid of some of the stuff. This also, I think, is going to create a situation right before 1.0 where everybody is going to melt everything that they have and get what they want to start with and do as much pay to win as possible. They're going to figure out whatever the meta ship is in 1.0, everything that's their meta that they want to do, and they're going to melt everything else around and go for those, right? So this is a weird one, but also unavoidable with the way that they funded the game.
I mean, you can't let them be traded because then you're getting into RMT, right?
Yes.
Like the issues with RMT. And then just
RMT will happen with crafted ships as well. I think if they did it with pledge ships, the RMT would be inflated to a much higher price. RMT is real money trading. So we could tell there's the lack of MMO player in the community, because like every MMO player knows what that means. That is taking an item in the game and selling it to somebody for real money.
It's unavoidable, but you can always you can try to minimize it, right?
Yeah, and this would minimize it.
EVE Online were one of the first ones to come up with a cool way to do it, which was Plex, which is basically just, hey, instead of paying the people on eBay, pay us. And it worked, right?
It worked great.
So.
There's still a profitable MMO 20-something years later, which is rare.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not surprised that not being told. But it'd be nice to have something in game not necessarily, just some sort of way to get rid of some stuff. Maybe honestly, the answer is probably just redo the hangar system on the website, and it probably won't matter as much.
Yep.
Like, assume you're in a 1.0 situation, you get in for the first time, you're in your home, and you might have a billion things. A couple of weeks are going to go by. All the stuff that you actually want to use is going to be other places. You're probably not going to have as much trash. Well, actually, you're probably going to have more trash around that you care about from things that you've actually. So, probably won't become.
Let's talk about every pledged item is tier 1. So go all the way back to the guy who wants to upgrade his tier 1. It's going to be way less efficient to upgrade that ship than to buy one from somebody else potentially.
Yep, there's more roadblocks. Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Like they have using this, what they've said so far in this, pay to win kind of still exists.
Pay to start with an advantage.
They've put a lot of roadblocks in the way to be like, hey, you probably should just play the game.
Like, do you mind playing the game? Is what it sounds like to me. Love that you guys supported us. Thank you for making this beautiful game, but like, can you not ruin it too much? Is that cool?
So because it's going to be less efficient to upgrade, and because you're still going to be needing to repair it, and because it's going to get degraded,
it never goes to zero, but it can go to 1.
To a point that you're probably like, holy crap, this is terrible. This is like, let's say this gun that I pledged is just absolutely trash.
Yeah.
It also means like eventually you're just going to be like, I'm just going to craft one. I am sick and tired of like spending all these points or spending all this whatever to upgrade it and then degrade.
Yep. So
it's like you get it once, and then after that, play the game.
We'll see how this all plays out, but it feels like they've come up with like a decent enough solution to these problems. I don't know if people have better ideas. Like, you just can't ask people to spend $1,500, $3,000 on a ship and them have to recraft it. You can't ask them to lose it entirely. It's just too weird of a situation. But it does look like they're trying their best to put the game first tier, and who knows how it plays, but hopefully it does.
Yep.
So,
no, I agree.
Yeah. So I have some concerns there, but what are you supposed to do?
Look, it's the first time that they've essentially talked on kind of insurance, or like around insurance, for a little bit now.
Yeah, still not going deep into it, but touching on it.
Yeah, it's not crazy deep, but it's like it's they've given us enough detail that like if this was implemented, I would be happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, cool. All right. Well, let's.
Yeah. It chills out from here. Like the more obvious stuff
Yeah.
they want to, more functional for crafting vehicles or in-vehicle crafting. And that was working in the PTU at a point and then wasn't. We obviously know they want us to be able to craft food, medical, construction, which is large hangar-sized space used for base building and crafting spaceships. Okay.
Yep.
Salvage mentioned. Construction material. This is very weird and would need some clarification for me. Construction materials split into the refined materials that vehicles are made of. Where I get goofed on a little bit, where I'm confused, is saying construction materials, because like that definitely I thought was like a placeholder. Now, is it going to be construction material rubble that randomly, when you refine, turns into other stuff? I don't know. So,
well, I think using that sentence, it is still like construction materials they are the current placeholder. They will be split into the refined materials. Which
just
they've also mentioned before.
When I'm confused, I guess. Then the cool one is select materials are exclusive to this method, which is what I've been begging for. Salvaging alien ships to get alien metals is the example they gave.
Sick.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Drake ships,
which also
to
then
get
presumably
duct tape.
not just like alien ships, but like
Drake ships
like
give you duct tape,
weapons. Yeah, exactly.
Salvage duct tape from
Drake.
Like
your weirder weapons and presumably like you could do weirder armors as well.
Yep.
That can also maybe only come through salvage. That'd be cool.
Sure. And then refining, and there's another post that clarifies this a bit more. This is a weird one. New system creates alloys/composite materials, so you no longer convert iron ore into iron anymore. You no longer convert copper ore into copper, which like every crafting game does. So that's why I'm a little goofed about it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I saw this. I saw the thing about this of it being basically like you've got your quality for like what you're actually making, and that's impacting the bonuses that you're receiving, and then the second, like in this case, carbon, impacting basically the amount that you. So sort of you've got two quality aspects. You've got how much it modifies, and then how much you require.
Yeah. I like the system. I don't hate the system. I guess the thing for me is I still think we should refine iron ore into iron. Why take that step out? I don't get. Personally, it's just such a common thing in crafting games. You mine your iron ore, you turn it into iron bars, and then you combine it to make steel. It's just like a common
not really.
trope.
Usually, I would say most crafting it is like take your iron ore, take your carbon ore or whatever, turn it into steel. Or
you make ingots
take your
first.
Tin, take your copper. Not usually when you're making steel in most crafting games.
I'll fight
Same
you on
with
that.
like if you've got copper and you've got was it tin, will make your bronze, right? That sort of stuff. That does happen quite often.
But you make usually
first. It's not. No, not usually. No, usually with
and
that
if you're
sort of
even
stuff,
arguing real life, like I see people arguing real life in chat.
No,
in
not real life.
You turn iron ore into iron pellets and then combine them with carbon to make steel. So don't even try me with this stuff. It's not ore with rock around it.
Satisfactory is a good example. Yeah, so that does ore and coal to turn to steel. It's not. It doesn't matter. I think that it is what I would want to see is both. Let me use iron ore for thing, because that's what those other systems do. Yeah. Is it's not you just have steel. It's like you can use our iron for certain things, use steel for certain other things, and so on.
I'm not going to fight chat. And Shark, you get 2 seconds to argue with me in your first call, because I already know I'm not wrong. Like, there's no way I'm wrong. It's impossible. It's impossible to say that you are smacking a rock on your blacksmith table and turning that into steel. Like, that's insane. Primary
Other
input.
than the convention, what do you think about the idea itself, though, of like having your items have like basically a second quality that impacts yield?
It's not a second quality. It's weird, right? Because the iron ore is the only thing that affects the quality. Let me bring up the.
Yeah, when I'm saying quality, me saying quality is probably a bad thing.
I got a better place to go.
Yeah.
So Declan, who also works on the crafting team, said like gave us a little bit more. Future iterations of refining will change, so it's at least 2 inputs, blah, 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 using the example, or carbon, secondary to produce steel. So quality of primary inputs determine the quality of the refined product. So you use iron ore, for example, again. If I had 901 quality, you would get steel with the quality of 901. The quality of the secondary input just determines just how much of it you need. So low quality, crappy carbon just means you need more of it, which is great because you're probably trying to get rid of that. So sweet. That gives a use to the crap that's out there, right? I see this mentioned in a thread already, but this also covers some of the old concept, blah, blah, blah. All right. Some optional material inputs for recipes may also influence things like refining time. So that's a new thing that was kind of mentioned before. Catalysts, they've called them in the past. Once this change to refining occurs, crafting recipes will require steel instead of iron, as some do now. So steel is a base material. Iron is not.
Yeah.
Which is kind of understandable in spaceships in the future. Like iron's probably not strong enough of a material. And then the cool one
also
is
gives them the ability to like go like, I don't know what other materials you would use, but like, yeah, cool. You've got iron and carbon, but then maybe you can also use iron and like tungsten for something else, right? And that increases some other value to the crafting material. The one question I have, because it doesn't look like it's elaborated there.
Okay.
When he says that the carbon, like the quality of the carbon affects the amount that you need. Is that the amount of carbon you need, or is that the amount of steel you need?
Carbon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next line is pretty cool. There's also advanced and exotic refined materials. For example, Durasteel, which was in Privateer 1, which is used for higher tier crafted items. In this case, the example would be to be determined raw resource is the primary resource. So like Durapaste or something, and plus steel, which is your secondary. So the steel, the quality no longer matters. Only the quality of the other resource matters, resulting in the chain of the most common basic materials being used to make the most advanced. So,
which awesome. That is your classic. Hey, we are crafting some like tier 5 ship stuff here.
Yep.
But we're still going to need through the process, through the chain of all the recipes.
Tier 1.
Yeah. Yeah, we need tier 0. We need 1 billion tier 0 carbon. Go and get it as much as you can.
Yep. Go out and mine.
I'm glad that's on the roadmap.
That's good. Huge. That's huge. Because again, I'm just arguing like I want to mine, I want to salvage, I want to craft. Keep giving me reasons to constantly do it, and I'm gonna be a happy boy. And that is a happy boy moment, that last one with that system. So overall, how do you feel after hearing all this stuff?
To finish that paragraph, because I think it's relevant. Creature harvestables to create new materials in a grounded and believable manner. Awesome. And then unlockable blueprints required for selecting.
Let me bring it back up right here. Allow the use of things like creature harvestables. There it is, right? Yeah. So your Mandy eyes and your eggs and your goofy things like that. They say in a believable manner. So is it believable?
We'll see how believable it is for us to craft using copian horns and stuff.
Yeah, who cares? It's a video game.
Believable. It's just lore stuff, right?
Yeah.
This whole section should have been its own post and should have been like shouted from the rooftops.
This should have been an ISC.
Yeah.
It probably will be.
No.
It
should be an
will
SCL where people ask questions about this system.
Or it should be an ISC when they can show it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that was like most of the stuff. I don't think I missed anything else.
Look, it's a lot of good news. And I think the biggest thing about it is it's like you can see where their mentality is of what they want crafting to be in a finished state and how they want us to interact with it. And that is pretty much everything I wanted, what they're explaining here. Like, yeah. So I'm really happy where their head's at. So hopefully all the crafting teams stay at CIG and this keeps happening. Yeah.
Don't leave us. Yeah, I'm liking it for sure. Not too many complaints. Again, it's how do you solve the pledge store problem? I don't think you can. I think they're they're doing the best they can with that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What they've said here, where it's like, you do kind of have to give advantage to people who are spending lots of money, but like it being this thing where it's like it's a lot smaller of an advantage than it seemed like it was going to be.
Yep.
And that concept of having it be, eventually you kind of just do want to engage with the system, and you want to leave your old paid for one behind, because it's just not going to be worth it to over and over and over again upgrade and repair when everyone else is doing it for so much cheaper in game.
Yeah, what they have not addressed yet is what happens to your pledge tier 1 ship once you've upgraded it to 5. That is
like, will it come when you that's the bit of insurance that's missing,
never
is
degrades,
like, are you getting tier 1s back, or are you I mean,
that's
look,
the big one.
even then, let's say you can upgrade it to tier 2 and it's never gonna leave tier 2. Presumably, like, degradation at tier 2 is still gonna be just as bad as tier 1, right? Like, it's still going to be
But if your ship is a pledge, it never goes to 0. How big of an advantage will that be is just a question. It's it's not a, oh my god, the sky is falling. It's just a question I would pose of like, how much of an advantage is that pledger gaining, and how much more harder did they have to work to gain that advantage in the game, is the balance that they're going to have to really play with, right? So I don't know why. Okay, I got to stop being a Twitch streamer right now. I'm getting angry at the Twitch chat. So I think I'm ready for calls if you are, and then we can give it about 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. And if you want to call in to the Answer the Call podcast and call in show, make sure you go to the link in the description, go to the Discord, head into the green room, and we'll bring you guys in. We have, how many callers we got today?
5.
We have a lot. So no more callers today, other than those that have already gotten in.
Yeah, we're going to give you each 5 minutes. We're not going to talk over to you guys too much. And I got a timer so we could see how long you are calling. So at about the 5-minute mark, we'll give you a little last point, and then we'll get to you. All right?
Yeah.
First caller is Sharkbite, who was arguing with me in the chat about my iron comment. We'll see what he has to say, because he says he's a blacksmith. So,
how are we doing,
Shark? Can you hear us?
How's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Quickly.
Okay.
Mr. Blacksmith.
Really quickly. So if you can technically make steel from pig iron, but it's usually faster just to take the iron ore and burn out the extra carbon when you're smelting it, so that you just get steel at whatever grade you want.
Sorry, what is pig iron?
Like
pig iron is just raw iron. Like if you take thermite, you can get straight iron or whatever. But that's really the only way to get pure iron, unless you're just doing it like in a furnace in your backyard.
Yeah.
Copper and tin, like if you wanted to make bronze, you do take the pure ingots and you melt those down in your percentages, and smelt them together.
Interesting.
As far as the crafting, I believe they said, because you said they said it's going to be tier 1. I'm assuming that also means they're going to come at like 500 quality or whatever the average is.
I think that's a fair guess. Yeah.
And then like you may be able to upgrade them, but I think they're probably going to come back at the base quality. So
we gotta say, they gotta say it,
like,
or show it. Like,
crafted items don't have a quality number; they just have stats. So it's like,
but I'm saying, like, if you were
a mix of multiple qualities.
Yeah, so you can't disassemble the pledge item, but it's going to be the stat equivalent of what you'd get from crafting with all 500s or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, I do agree. They should say that, and they should very much specify that you get that it either drops a tier or it comes back at tier 1 or whatever. I would say it's probably fair if your ship drops a tier when it dies completely, and then if you don't upgrade it back up from 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 or whatever, then it drops down another tier. That would
also
be
it may not feel fair
more
when playing.
Yeah,
true.
It also has me more curious how the insurance system is going to work at all.
Yeah,
because like the implication here actually is that like if the items degrade, well, if a ship explodes, that's the ultimate form of degrading. That is a negative degrading, right? So when you get your insurance back for that, presumably you're not getting the version that you crafted and then upgraded. Presumably you're getting something else, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Like, what happens when a ship explodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it actually going to explode again?
And Mike just asked the question, what happened when ship explode?
Well, after this statement, yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that just feels like such a crazy statement for us to actually.
Yeah, we should know. We should know by now.
Yeah,
we should know.
Let's see. As far as looting items off NPCs, I'd prefer like in the mid-range NPCs or whatever your basics are. Like, unless it's in a really difficult area, they should come with fairly mid-tier stats.
Agreed.
And a little bit randomized, but like 500 to 600 or whatever.
Sure.
But a boss should have like higher tier gear, really higher chance of getting a rare item or so. Yeah, exactly. Like, it should still be a chance, but it shouldn't be you get nothing, and it shouldn't be like they're wearing all 1,000 gear.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think it will be that.
No. Yeah.
As in, like, I don't think it'll be,
as far as finding in boxes, I would prefer if all the blueprints you find are always one, and then you could find ingredients to upgrade your blueprints, but you shouldn't find a tier 2 blueprint or whatever, unless maybe you already have the tier 1 of that, and then there's a rare chance that you get like an upgrade, but I'd prefer if it was just a chance.
I think the implication is that it will always be tier 1 blueprints, and then you'll have to upgrade them.
Well, didn't they say you could find higher tier blueprints, or is that not what it said in the post?
Blueprint tiers.
It did say that, but what is
increasing a blueprint's tier requires player to do research tasks.
And then there's other blueprints of some kind later on.
Yeah, well, so we know that they didn't explicitly mention the refining blueprints, but in refining system, they mentioned unlockable blueprints required for selecting exotic materials.
You need a specialist upgrading blueprint.
Yeah, one tier to the next using a specialist upgrading. So
gotcha, okay.
That's rather than finding a tier 2 blueprint, that's like, hey, you found the P4AR upgrade blueprint.
And now you have to research.
That's
the way that it works, I'm happy.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Let's see. And then as far as the crafter versus just picking up loot, say Mike was saying like, oh, well, some random guy finds the material, he can just craft his own thing and not have to take it to a crafter. If the crafter has researched that higher tier blueprint, that's where the crafter's value comes in, because I can take the material that I got that's rare to a crafter who specializes in making tier 3 scalpels, and I take him 900 to 1,000 quality material. He's the one who makes the excellent gun, and then I pay him for his time and his experience, but I just provided the material to get a bit of a discount.
Sure, that's fine. Sure. But what about the idea of like some of the guns that we have now, like what's the multi-tool that a pyro gang transferred into something else?
I actually picked up that blueprint. That was the first one that I got. Yeah, the Ripper.
Okay, but that doesn't always need to be a blueprint. What if that was like a unique item that was dropped from an NPC? Like, you know, in MMOs you have like the named weapon that is like kind of special. I don't see anything wrong with doing something like that in Star Citizen and having it be a unique thing. And then that again creates this like working camaraderie or working together kind of situation where not everybody's.
So you're saying like
I don't want crafting to be the center of everything.
NPCs don't, or an NPC drops that.
I'm saying an NPC drops that item and a crafter cannot craft that item. It doesn't have to be a gun necessarily.
Okay.
Think the tweaker attachments that we have at CZs, or the certain scopes and things like that. That those are uniquely tweaked, or the items that we've gotten for event rewards, your Ardor repeaters, right? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
We love those things. It seems like, why not do it that way?
as someone who's worked in like engineering and some reverse engineering and stuff, if I saw someone made a cool gun out of multi-tool and some laser equipment, like why wouldn't I be able to take a blueprint and take that apart and craft a new one?
It's because it's a video game.
Yeah, it's like, and if you want a law reason, it's because you don't have the tools for it.
Okay.
Done.
You don't have the knowledge.
That particular crafter.
Yeah. You're stupid and you can't make it. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know
how to make a ripper.
I do have brain damage.
I know how to make a ripper. I'm just saying. I was gonna say, I actually, in a similar vein, I do want that. I also want the exact opposite: items that can only be crafted and cannot.
Exactly.
And I
want that.
And I used the exact same.
Both
examples.
need to exist.
I said I want think about the Ripper. Think about the kill shot. They really come off as crafted items.
Oh
yeah, you could go both ways with those examples.
Go both ways. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, last thought, Shark.
Oh, last thought.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm campaigning for Chris Roberts to trade me a scythe for the Vanduul mask that I made. So if you're watching this, Chris.
Good luck with that. You wasted your time on your last thought. He does not watch our stuff.
Yeah, well, take care, you guys.
Shark, thank you so much, man. Catch you next week. Bye now. All right, next caller, Expendability. Expendability, can you hear us?
Expendability?
Yes.
Hello.
Howdy.
All right, let me mute you 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, I am here.
Welcome. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about.
Yeah, so I'm going to push back a little bit on the looting thing, only because, and I don't think that you should find like level 1,000 gear on every NPC or anything like that.
Of course,
I like that we were talking about the chance of it happening. What I would like to see is them to use it gives the loot goblin something to do. If when they're running around killing all these NPCs, any NPC has a chance to drop not necessarily a gun that has like buffs all over the place, but a buff in a particular area. So like, maybe they got some 800 or just to increase the damage, but all the other stats in the gun are negatives.
Yeah.
And then that would give you a reason to at least pick that up, bring it back, and salvage it so you could get some of those resources back. And it's not an efficient way where it's ever going to compete with like a miner who goes out and actually finds those things.
Yep.
But it gives the guy that's just like doing FPS missions or doing things in the verse a reason to grab those things and take them apart.
Sure. Let me jump in real quick. I'm not saying that what I was saying doesn't have to be a one or the other situation. I just like exactly how you're saying it. If you were, because you still should be able to collect a bunch of trash and salvage it and turn it into something useful, right? But I want there to make sure that the crafter is still the crafter, and I want to make sure that people who run missions feel value from what they're doing. So you can kind of do, like, what I'm sort of saying is do both, but just make sure that on average the crafter is the guy who is buying material from miners, and the miner, you got to make sure that the miners and salvagers have value, and then you got to make sure that the mission runners have value in that way, and that's by never overstepping each other's game loop. It's a delicate balance, but you don't have to completely say no, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like they don't only drop 500 quality, 0 bonus stuff, but they don't drop 900 as often as a miner would find. And then they also have this unique stuff that they can drop, which makes them advantageous. All right, I've taken up enough of your time, but I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't saying one or the other. I'm just saying make sure you don't overstep.
And I agree. I think that it's just they have this ability now in the game to salvage these things and to get parts from them. So I just want to see it used. So
yes.
So that's that. Rockbreaker, it's kind of like a who cares.
Yeah.
I did it on the PTU. It does. I expected it to be this, like, you break the rock and there's a chance for multiple types of ore with higher chances of different qualities.
That's what I thought it would be too.
And when we cracked it, and it was like, oh, it's literally these two every time, and like Croncy said, it was like sub 700 twice, and we were just kind of like, yep, we're done with this.
It was still, I still felt it was worth it, but it was like, yeah, man, it would have been cooler if like maybe there was a chance at some gold or iron in there. Maybe there was a chance. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot of nodes, right?
Yeah, it could have been. It was
also the
worth
fact
it.
that the Taurite's in there is actually really annoying because the Taurite's super easy to find.
I fought this with them the entire PTU cycle. It doesn't feel good.
Honestly, they could have kept the exact same amount of Ceruleum deposits in there and just removed Taurite, and I weirdly would have felt better about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the event itself, the art, everything, it's a great location.
Yep.
But when you're done with it, it's like by the second time we did it, it was just kind of like, man, I don't want to come do this again without a group.
Out of sails.
Yeah. And the reward is just, and I'm not asking for I don't believe in guaranteed anything.
No.
But just, I don't know, randomize it and make it better, I guess. Chance for gold, a chance for copper, whatever is in there, but just some higher tier loots of various types. So it's not like you're going to go there. It's more like you have the chance to get a high grade item, but you don't know what type you're getting. Versus, the guaranteed loot of 900 of this. It's going to be 900 of something, but you don't know what.
I would have liked to see maybe like they could probably keep the same system in if also during Rockbreaker there's the Aphorite everywhere, right? But right now you can't figure out the quality of it until you've actually started mining it. There's tons and tons of boxes that have random materials that are 0 quality. If like that stuff was more implemented,
and you can gamble what they are in your freight elevator, which is ridiculous, by the way.
But yeah, like if you could go into it and it's like during the course of, it's like you're there for the end, but over the course of the thing, you're doing a little bit more of like, all right, cool. Well, like I need Aphorite for whatever blueprint. Cool. I'll focus a bit more on that, but it's just not implemented well at the moment. Yeah, maybe that would make it a little bit more engaging for grinding.
Yeah, maybe. And then I'll move to the crafting stuff. As far as the mining,
probably final thought. So if you want to do two quick ones, go for two quick ones.
Yep, I'll give you two quick ones. So the mining, the scanning, I agree, it is out of control. Like it's scanning everything. Like I was thinking, oh yeah, it'll be a lot easier. No, it's every little rock, every little sub rock. It's so much scanning to maybe find,
especially because you want to scan more things now. I think that there is a player dynamic that has changed because of the crafting system that presents this new issue.
Yep. And then the second thing is the crafting material or crafting schematics. The blueprints. The fact that the missions didn't by default, and I had to download a thing to show me or look at a third-party website what missions give what blueprints is crazy.
I think it's only crazy because you're getting a blueprint like every mission. I think if it was like, which this is another thing that I don't like a lot, but the idea that, like they said, we'll get blueprints on some data pads and stuff, we'll change it all. But the idea that we can just do the big blueprint group and spend 4 hours and get every blueprint is stupid.
I 100% agree with that. But when they implement this and someone third party can go in there and go, all right, these are the missions that give blueprints, so you're not wasting your time. If you're going to do a tier 0 and it's that simple, and I'm not saying that wasn't hard for them to do or that the person who put that together shouldn't be, commended for it. But I mean, you're doing it and you know what missions give these things. It seems like it'd be pretty easy for their team to go, hey, these are the missions we want tested. These are the chances you have. This is the blueprints you can get from these missions. So you're not randomly doing random missions and not getting blueprints. I'm thinking more of like a solo player, I guess, like where it's like someone who's not in a big org that's played the game forever. They have no idea what they're looking for or what missions do what.
I I don't want CRG to implement like that, as in like the here are the missions that give you whatever in game, because I want them to change the system that you get blueprints. You know what I mean? I would rather them not implement that and then be like, cool, and from now on, that's all you do. You do these missions, get blueprints. Blueprints are done. I want this very much to be placeholder. It sounds like it might be, based on once again what they said in the.
I still want blueprints to be consumable.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But the idea of like, just here, where all these blueprints come from straight away. I don't love. Maybe I would be more okay with it if that system also came along with the blueprint library. Yeah.
I don't know.
Ultimately, I'd like to see blueprints be what I thought they were supposed to be, is like, you do missions with these people have people that sell these blueprints and stuff like that. So, reputation, we talked about for years. Anyways, I will let you guys go, but appreciate it.
Thank you, Expendability.
Yeah, no,
GG, man. Cool. Appreciate it. Bye now. All right, next caller, Thaser.
How are we doing, Thaser?
Can you hear us?
Welcome in, Thaser.
Hello.
I hope you.
Howdy.
Yeah, I would like to discuss Brock Breaker because I'm disappointed beyond belief, and my day is ruined.
Beyond belief.
So
my disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Yeah, but it's worse than that. Whoever came up with the idea to put the mission, the Rock Breaker mission, behind Shubing Rep,
he watches the stream.
I don't know. If he watches the stream, I hope he's listening, because that was not a good idea, to put it mildly.
Why?
For those who don't know,
it's super easy, Rep. By the way, to be fair,
yes,
it's very easy.
But here's the problem. To get the exclusive version, you need to get to Master.
Nope. Junior.
Not for the exclusive, you need to get to Master. For the public one, you need to get to Junior.
Nope.
And
I don't know. You're probably reading a website that is not correct, because I only have
that's
Junior.
What happened to us.
I have Junior. I have Junior, and I did Rock Breaker.
And you can get exclusive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird, because we needed Master to get exclusive, and afterwards, after those of us who had Master reached Master, we could no longer get the public one.
Classic Elliot Maltby, then, I guess, because there's always permission and reputation issues with the missions, man.
Yeah.
I think there's something weird going on there, because I heard also it needed to be Master, but I got Junior, and that's all I needed.
Yeah, the person who we ran from today only had Junior.
Then there must be some issues with the reputation system. Needless to say, the idea to put it behind reputation was not a good idea. Also, as a bit of a PSA, if you mine from the meteorite after you crack it, if you mine from it with a mole, I don't know if it happens with other ore as well, but if you use a mole, there's a chance that when you take it into refine it, there's nothing in the bags, although the mole is showing that is, or in the bags. So you need to use a prospector or a golem.
Can't say I had that experience today, but I'd love to hear if other people.
But it could happen.
We had it yesterday. We had it yesterday. And another thing I'd like to discuss, not necessarily about this patch, but the patch cycle in general.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed a trend that's kind of worrying. For those who don't know, I don't know if you guys know, but for example, the worm in Pyro, you can't do it right now because it's bugged. After you kill the worm, you can't mine the pearls and everything else, because there's an issue with the radiation. No matter what you wear around the dead worm is gonna kill you outright. So that's not been fixed. I don't know if in this patch has been fixed, but for the past 2 patches it hasn't been fixed. As of this patch, we tried yesterday on multiple servers. Contested zones don't work.
I told them about that for weeks. I will not say anything else, but it is
in Ruin Station. The loot doesn't spawn.
Demoralizing.
That was
not just Ruin.
That was
every contested zone during the PTU, and I don't know what it's like on live. But
it's the same. What's worse is yesterday we picked off a newbie off of Global because he wanted to do contested zones, didn't want to do it by himself, and we told him, okay, we'll come into Ruin Station with you. We did everything, and then we went into the vault and it was empty. And we promised him everything from the vault, and it was empty.
Welcome to Star Citizen, buddy. You did him a favor. You did him a favor.
Afterwards, we went to Checkmate. The airlock doesn't cycle, so unusable. Can't do anything.
Told him about that one
too. Same for
Obituary.
Same for Obituary. Tested it on multiple servers. We jumped servers. Didn't work.
What's the
and
PTU
my question? My question is, since these things don't seem to get fixed, they just get abandoned as new events come in. How long until Hathor doesn't work anymore?
Oh, it hasn't worked a couple times.
It's not. Yeah, it hasn't worked a couple times, but it's not like CZs have consistently been bad.
Yeah,
like they've consistently been broken. Hathor has more consistently worked than it hasn't.
Yes.
The irradiated Velokar about 50-50.
Yeah.
The Onyx facility is pretty consistent. The yeah, that sort of stuff. It's less about like when new thing comes in and more just like things keep breaking and keep breaking.
Yeah, but
I don't know how much time they need to invest into CZs to get them to work consistently.
It's becoming an issue because it's forcing, especially people who play in groups like myself, it's forcing us to only stick to a couple of missions or whatever that work. Like
how about Ace Interceptor helmets, right? Like they've been a huge problem too. It's a problem, but it's also a problem with our mentality as well. It's incredibly hard to expect a game that is still trying to put everything in itself to always be working. It's not fair to make that assumption that it should work for us on our end, and it's not fair for them to expect us to want to play their game as if it's a game, and then they want us to do that, and then when we complain about it, it's an alpha, right? So it's this really shitty situation where nothing you're saying is wrong, Thaser, none of it. But it's also like, what do you do, right? It's you want them to continue. Like, you don't want to play this game, do you? You want to play this for the rest of your life? I don't. So in order to not play this for the rest of my life, like Ace helmets are going to break. CZs are going to break. The thing that pisses me off is I told you I reached out to everyone I could about those kind of things, and the feedback I got back was not good. Of like, and it's like that's the part that I don't like is I don't know if there's not enough people working or whatever. It just doesn't feel like they're taking care of it the way they should, and I think that's the sentiment you have.
Yeah, I'm not saying every patch everything should work flawlessly, because I understand it's an alpha and all that. What I'm saying is it's not normal for almost, what is it, 4 or 5 months that the Velokar doesn't work anymore. It's been a few patch cycles. In one of those patch cycles, they could have looked at it and see what was wrong with it.
I don't know if it's been 4 or 5 months, because
we did it last patch.
Last 4 or 5 months,
yeah. We did it last patch.
Last patch it wasn't working.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
And it wasn't for us. It was bugged for us. Maybe
it might be. It might be a server or something.
Yeah,
but it was definitely working.
It's hard to tell. But for us, every time we tried for the past few months, it was either the egg or whatever wasn't spawning consistently, or it was the radiation issue.
We've had all those issues, and we just kept going and going into the next server until we found the one that works. It's mostly broken, but yeah.
And I don't want to steal too much time. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I just looked at the time. I would say last point.
Yeah, to add to the idea with getting blueprints from missions, that's also not a good idea. People right now just do
big groups,
AFK groups.
Yeah, being able to be
left bracket missions.
Yeah, it's not good. It's the what was the last event called where people were doing that as well.
It is better than them just giving us all the blueprints day one.
Yeah, but they could have done something like
that's all it's better than.
Like you mentioned with the data pads, you find them in CZs, you find them loot, you find them.
Or even to talk about what the last caller mentioned about like how they wanted it to be like purchasable from factions as well. It's like you do your rep, and then you can purchase the blueprint from them.
Yeah, that's also viable. This way, it's not. No, no. Yeah, that's all I had to add and to complain about.
Yeah. All good. You're allowed to come here and complain. This is a safe place. All right, Thaser.
No, thank you.
Be good, brother.
All right.
Cheers.
Have a
Check
good
you later.
Goodbye.
Bye now. All right, next caller, Leroy Lemon. Hello, Leroy.
Good morning. Good evening.
Good morning. Good evening.
I just had a quick question about refining and what they're planning on doing with it. I understand that they're doing a secondary thing. It doesn't really matter what quality it is. But as far as primary refining, are there plans on taking like a lower quality item or lower purity or say iron and refining it into a higher purity iron, albeit at a reduced yield?
Except it won't be iron. Yeah. So
they mentioned not in this guide. I think it was one of the pre-patch or like what's the one that they do just before the patch comes out? Patch watch. That like their intention is eventually to make it so that like useless ore is not actually useless. It's just kind of useless.
Right.
So that you have the ability to create higher tier ores for your blueprints and whatnot. We just don't know the details of that. We don't know how drastic it's going to be.
They mentioned on
what
SCL
the cost is going to be or anything like that.
That you will be able to upgrade your lower quality stuff to higher quality or whatever. Just no details on it yet.
Yeah,
just need probably a lot more of it compared to whatever, right?
Yeah, and I think there's specific blueprints for it. Is what they also said.
Okay.
Yeah, which might be a cool way of doing it too, because like you imagine you have your iron ore blueprint and you upgrade it to a better version of the iron ore blueprint, and maybe now it requires a little bit less yield to create that higher quality, that sort of stuff. There's ways they can.
Well, it's just in kind of my mind, refining is you're just taking an impure item and just increasing its purity, right? So I was just kind of wondering if that's what eventually they're going to go with, and you just need, say, if you have this 900 quality and you're wanting to refine it to 1,000, you're not going to need that much 900 quality as opposed to 500 quality to refine it to 1,000, for example.
Yeah, I assume that's exactly how they're going to. Is like the higher quality you use, the less of it you need. Though once again, I really like the idea of a logarithmic scale.
It's got to be ridiculous.
If you want to make 600, if you want to make one SCU of 600, you need 10 SCU of 500. If you want to make one SCU of 700, you need 100 SCU of 600, right, and so on.
To kind of balance out the time it takes to actually find the higher quality versus just mining whatever pig iron you find.
Yeah.
To use that improperly, but I was wondering what you guys would think if they would instead of just whenever you refine it, it refines at whatever number you get, so you get all these infinite number of rocks that you can't stack. Just refine it to like a set number within, say, like 25 or 50, so you can stack. So whatever average it is, if it's above or below half, it goes up or down. So it's like if you have 907, or it just goes down to 900, and then you can stack everything at 900 just for the sake of inventory.
Yeah, I think I want to see what the folder system they do, how it feels before saying to change. But
yeah, they've got a potential fix that might, like, because your fix also impacts the gameplay itself, right? That changes essentially what you're making, because you're actually altering the quality. Whereas like the fix is hopefully just this folder system that just makes it easier to use the inventory for that matter.
Yeah, just whatever makes it, whatever's simpler and doesn't break the game, right?
Oh, so nothing. We're never getting anything. Shit.
No, nothing.
No. Yeah.
Oh well, that's all I had to. That's all I wanted to ask. All more time for the other callers.
Perfect. Yeah, we just got one more.
Yep.
All right. Catch you later, Leroy. Bye now. All right, and our last caller of the day, Croncy. Hello, Croncy.
Croncy, how are we doing?
Are you hearing me well?
Yes, I got to turn you up a little bit. I'll turn you up on my end. Go ahead.
Okay. I had some good experience with the crafting, but I have some issues. The first one is the default quality. It should not be 500. It should be 200. Because
we've talked about default quality like every week for the past month.
Yeah,
because things kept changing and things have been weird, and
I guess like
it was an interesting choice to make it like 500 and then make it a bunch of like 300s be lootable and stuff.
Do you think this is the end of this situation, or do you think it was just time for 4.7? Like, is there still like significant
I don't
tweaking
think this
to
is locked
come?
in stone.
Yeah,
the 500 being default is not locked in stone because it wasn't locked in stone in PTU
like a week ago,
right?
Yeah.
So I think it can still go either.
Sure.
I think that they just didn't change it. They just gathered information. That's
Maybe.
why they didn't bother.
Yeah.
But I think
what does it change
think it should
though?
be 200.
But what does that change? Like, for me, I always question, what does that change if we still have tier 0 item recovery? You're still going to feel like even if I improve my gun at 250 quality instead of 550 quality, I still just want the 900 quality right now. So does it make sense for us to do the item insurance first and see what everything feels like? But then there's the whole other thing of like, what's the point of being able to craft a negative gun? I don't know. So just it all doesn't feel right.
Why stop at 200 and not go to 0? Right?
Yeah, which is where they were, and we were all kind of like cool with it.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just like everyone wants, when you find material, for it to be worth something, even if it's only worth a little.
Yeah.
And it's like, with it, like assuming all spawns are still the same rate. If it was at 200, like most of the rocks you come across are going to be worth something. They're going to actually impact something that you want to craft. But that doesn't stop what Mike said of like, but you're still only going to look for the higher things. If everything's at the same spawn rate, I'm still only going to look for 700 or higher. It's just going to be even better now because 700 is going to impact even more because they have to scale it that way, right?
That's why I think they should change the quality in the systems. Stanton should not go beyond 400, like in average. Nix should be like 600, and Pyro should be like 800. There should be a difference in the systems. Otherwise, there's sense to be on Stanton or Pyro because there is not much difference right now.
If the actual danger in the systems was also scaled, yes. But right now, Pyro is not dangerous. Nix isn't dangerous. Like,
I killed a miner at Pyro yesterday. He killed me first, though.
Oh shit!
No. He was invincible. He was invincible. He couldn't die. It was crazy. But I am struggling with that idea now, Crucia, because I used to like kind of hard agree, but I'm more leaning towards if there's unique material in each system that gives you reasons to go to them. But I do kind of like what they're doing where the quality is better in Pyro. I just don't think that it's better enough yet.
I think,
like, I don't think like hard locking Stanton to 400 is.
No, I'm not saying hard locking.
Oh, okay.
I mean like the average. Like you should think by average, like 300, 400 on Stanton. You could find 800 but you can make the system with the code.
Yeah.
But you should in general find higher quality on Pyro.
What about this? I see it in Twitch chat. Less inert in Pyro, where you get more of the material. So, like, yes, you could dial it up. Like, right now, it's like 9% better in Pyro overall from Stanton. But if they gave you more of the ore when you found it, would that feel good? Maybe. I don't know. Because that's the other thing. It feels really icky to have mined for 6 hours and have not filled my ship.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They could just like up the extraction numbers and then once again like decrease the refinery numbers, and that would be probably okay.
Or up the crafting numbers just because, I don't know.
I do want to say, like, this problem once again though might be fixed by one of the things they mentioned in this this
Which
little,
one?
not even article, the little Q&A thing, of like, yeah, the crux of it is you don't want bad quality stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because that feels bad, obviously.
And the breadth of what is bad is 90% of the stuff you find.
Yeah. Yeah.
There.
But if you
Maybe
do
more.
what they're doing here, where they've said, like, look, well, the quality, like when we bring in alloys, the quality of this second item still matters, but like you will grab like the range that you'll be willing to grab will be way wider, presumably, right?
Sure.
Because it's just affecting the amount that you need rather than actually changing the end product.
But you're still farming for 20 hours to get the 901 quality iron. Like, something has to give.
Well, what I would hope happens is that there are alloys where iron is the second quality, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then you can sort of have it with a lot of these. That might not happen, but
never know.
The thing is that you are right, Croncy, but if I go mining only 800, I will never touch 400. I will have 800. I will use 800.
No, that's exactly, no, sorry, I have to stop you because that's exactly what I was saying you would do in this system, is because this second quality, the quality matters way less, the amount of time that you're spending matters more, you will go for those lower quality. That does fix that issue.
Oh yeah, sorry, I misheard Spanish. I speak Spanish.
Okay.
Also, there is another 3 points that I have. The first one is that you should use duplicates into upgrading to tier 2 or tier 3, and useless items like medals, comboards, stuff that is useless. Otherwise, you don't get any reason to use it, like in Tarkon, for example.
Sure. Or you combine those things into another craft that, like, one of my favorite things about Eve is that you're combining all these things together to craft an item that is then a part of the crafted ship. So it's like, you're making, you're making capital some thingamabob, and it's like,
capital capacitor board or something.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't matter, but I know that I use that to craft this ship, right? I like that. I like that a lot. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I guess, with the guns, although it would be kind of sick to actually craft the barrels, to actually craft the body and the and then put them together into a craft, but it might just be overkill.
But also, even then, because you mentioned, like, platoon medals and stuff, like, not everything has to be put into the crafting system. You can still have those be interesting rewards that you're getting from loot for turning into
rep,
people like Wicklow, or turn in for rep or whatever else. Sure. And that's a completely fine and valid thing. It doesn't have to be chucked into the crafting mechanic.
Sure.
I mean, Wicklow is a crafting. It's a trade, a crafting, however you see it, but it's the same principle. It's the same logic. If you can use the medals to train Wicklow and get the Wicklow item to crafting, it can make sense.
Yeah.
But it needs to be like a circle.
Yes. It's kind of like Eve LP a little bit, Wicklow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I see it. Because you're trading in, it's essentially reputation. It's just you've got weird things that you also have to turn in.
Yeah, for sure.
I also think that there should be either missions or more like items behind reputation, like in mercenary, cargo, whatever, that are needed for crafting, so people are more likely to trade the item for a crafted item.
Yeah, sure. Like, I would love to see, as an example, let's say Kovalex. Kovalex Hull C, right, is a blueprint you can get if you do enough Kovalex missions. And that Hull C, basically the same as a regular Hull C, except for a couple of changes. It's got a Kovalex skin, because of course it does. It has like 5 extra SCU or something, I don't know. Or it has like extra capacitor in whatever. Like, it just has these small sort of faction changes. that can be very common. And it's like, if you are trying to do nothing but 32 SU boxes, the best ship that you could possibly use is specifically the Covalex Hull C, right? I really enjoy when they do that. It's like, here is your reputation reward. Here is a unique blueprint that you can only get from that reputation. And here is how it alters the basic, like, whatever.
Yeah. They did something badass like that in Eve for the winter thing, and I didn't finish it, and I feel so bad because I would love one of those ships, and now they're 400 mil each ship.
Well, I mean, yeah, those ones are time limited. The Eve equivalent would be like, you do your LP store and you get like your Drake Navy issue.
Yep.
Blueprint, right?
Yeah, and they're super common and really used in a lot of things, and it makes those people super valuable, and they're not crafters, and they don't have to be.
Yeah,
which is awesome. You just find your own way. Like, the more they do that, the more they get us into the sandbox and out of this mission crap, the better, right? If I want to do missions, I can, but if I don't want to do missions, I shouldn't have to. But yeah, Croncy, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Two things. One, the Space AK you should not be able to craft it. Only
shouldn't like you were saying, like it could be or I was saying it could be a drop. You were saying it should be crafted.
I was saying it should only be able to be crafted.
I think it could go either way.
It's a mishmash of stuff.
Yeah, I think it could go either way.
The second is that I hope they do something interesting with the transit system, because I talk a lot with Will Meme, and he keeps watching what they do with the transit, with the elevators, and he laughed a lot.
I don't think they'll be doing anything interesting. I think their goal is just to make it not break.
Yeah.
I mean,
which I guess that's interesting.
They will, or they will do what they told Will Meme about making an interplanetary transit system. That will be a bit overkill.
That's not going to be part of what they mentioned. That would be.
I don't know. It's CIG. They do a bit of stupid stuff.
Oh no, they would have been shouting from the rooftops that we're doing shuttles to interplanets and stuff. Of what I do. This is just a tech, basically.
Maybe
I don't trust them. But anyway, that's all. I mean, look at a rock breaker. It's an elevator as a tram.
Yeah,
I love the rock breaker tram. It's sick.
Ugh.
Well,
only the one in the cave. All right, Croncy, catch you.
Cheers.
Bye now. All right, that is the end of our show, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure you check us out on Twitch and get subscribed on YouTube. And I don't know what's going on next week. Obviously, we'll find out tomorrow with the weekly, what's going on in Star Citizen thing. My guess is
Easter long weekend, so it might be weird.
Okay, so there might be time off and stuff. Yeah, we'll have to see in terms of like transit and blah 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 blah. Because I think that's the only thing we'll really see. I don't think we're going to get a 4.8 PTU, or we have at least another week before the next content that drops. So it might be a just get in there and grind kind of thing. So maybe we'll come up with a topic or something for next week. We'll see. But yeah, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. And I don't know if you have anything you want to end on, Croncy, before we say goodbye.
There's only one thing that I want to end on before we say goodbye, Mike. Don't forget
to answer the call. I did it this time, and I didn't mess it up.